What is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. In today's video, I thought that I would take you guys through what it is that I carry in my gym bag. Now, I know you're thinking, how exciting could what you carry in your gym bag be? But I definitely think that there are certain tools that can be useful when it comes to your fitness and bodybuilding journey. Things such as like wraps, supports, accessories that you can go ahead and utilize to make your workout that much better. So in today, we're going to be going ahead and breaking down some of the things that I carry in my gym bag, and hopefully you guys can get a little bit of insight into why I carry those things with me, and maybe go ahead and implement them into your own training to get the most out of it. So laid out behind me here, I have all of the different things that I keep in my gym bag. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of break them down, why I have them in my gym bag, what is the purpose and use of having them, and whether I think that it is applicable for most people or not. So obviously the first and most important thing you are going to need is actually going to be a gym bag. Now, over the years, I have gone through many different gym bags, and this has definitely been my favorite. So I'm sure many of you have seen this on social media before. They are quite a large company now, but this is a wolf pack, and I really like this backpack for a number of different reasons. So I got this when they first kind of came out. I've had mine for several years now. This is one of kind of the first ones that they did, and this is the 45-liter meal management bag. So that's 45 liters, that's the size of the bag. So it's the largest backpack that they do make. I like having a bit of a larger backpack because then I have the ability to carry more things in there if I need to. But we all kind of know that saying, like, the larger suitcase that you pack on your vacation, the more shit that you are bound to take with you. And that is definitely what I find with this bag, is having a larger bag does mean that I generally carry more shit with me than I definitely need to. But it is good to have this. Obviously, as you can see here, it has lots of different compartments. It has a couple different small compartments on the front here. It has two very large compartments, which is where I keep the majority of my stuff. There's a couple of different pouches in there as far as mesh nettings go. It's got a laptop sleeve if you want to go ahead and carry that with you too. So it's overall a really good backpack. And the thing that is special about this one is, obviously, like I said, this is the meal management bag. So in this front pouch here, actually, this is an insulated pouch where you can go ahead and fit meal containers that come with this bag specifically. So if you are someone who works long hours, if you are someone that has to take your meals with you on the go, this bag is really good for that, because of the fact that it has that pouch down here that you can go ahead, slip an ice pack into it here. It's got a little compartment for the ice pack itself, and then you can go ahead, throw your meals in there, and you are good to go. So that is what I like about this bag, is it allows me to have that option if I need to. But if not, you don't have to put the ice pack in there or anything. You can just go ahead and throw some of your normal things in there, some of your accessories, whatever it may be. So this is definitely a very good bag. I would recommend checking out Wolfpack if you are looking for a backpack. Something as well, as we go throughout the video, all of the accessories that I will be talking about, all the lifting gear, the backpack, everything will be linked in the description below. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out any of that stuff for yourself, then definitely go ahead and do that. Obviously, first thing that you're going to need to go ahead and carry all of the things that we are going to be covering is going to be a good solid bag. So whether you're a backpack person, whether you're a duffel bag person, that's definitely up to you, but this is the bag that I go ahead and use for my things. So it may seem kind of self-explanatory, but I think the next thing that you should have in your gym bag that is kind of like an essential is definitely going to be a good quality pair of gym shoes. So this is definitely one of my favorite pairs of gym shoes that I do have. I have a ton of different shoes. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'll train in Jordans. Sometimes I'll train in Ultra Boost. Depends on what I want. But I think if you were just going to go for one pair of gym shoes, this is definitely the pair that I would recommend. These are the Nike Metcons. This is the version 1 of them. I don't even know if you can pick up the version 1 anymore. I've had these ones for quite a few years. But what I really like about the Nike Metcons is not only are they comfortable, but they also have a flat sole. And that is something that I think is very important when it comes to lifting. If you are doing things such as like deadlifts, or if you are doing things such as like squatting patterns or leg presses, having a flat sole is something that is going to be very important, because it is going to make sure that you can maintain constant pressure with the machine, whatever machine it is that you are using, whether you are, or not even machine, but just whatever exercise you are doing. If you are squatting, you don't want to have this big cushiony kind of foam pillow that you're squatting on. If you're wearing like, running shoes or Ultra Boost or Yeezys or something like that, it's gonna really throw off your balance. So when you are going ahead and training, you want to have some sort of flat-soled shoe. So like these Nike Metcons are really good. Honestly, for the first couple of years, I even lifted in just like Converse. Converse are really good, like Converse high tops, because they're super cheap, they're super affordable, and they have a nice flat sole to them. I think one of the essentials that you should have in your gym bag, obviously, is going to be a good quality pair of shoes. So I definitely recommend the Nike Metcons as a good solid pair of gym shoes. So next thing that is kind of a non-negotiable in your gym bag should be a pair of headphones. Now, this is just a cheap pair of headphones that I got off of Amazon, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of done and over expensive headphones. I've had several expensive headphones in the past before, whether they're like the Bluetooth wireless ones, the over-the-ear ones, and they always end up shitting the bed on me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm like a bit of a heavy sweater, or if I'm just too hard on that, but I've just given up with buying like $300 headphones. So this is just like a $30 pair of headphones that I got off Amazon. Definitely, you want to make sure that you have some sort of headphones in your bag, because that is an essential. You want to make sure that you have the ability to go ahead and jam out to your own tunes. And I definitely think that having a pair of headphones in your bag is obviously a necessity, especially if doing cardio. That's the worst thing ever. You get on the cardio machine and you realize you forgot your headphones. That's gonna fucking suck. So you want to make sure that you have a good pair of headphones with you that are going to work and that are going to be charged up as well. So that's the next thing that I will have in my gym bag. Now, the last thing that I will have in my gym bag that I think is a necessity for everybody before moving into some of the things that might not be as necessary is obviously going to be a water bottle. You want to make sure that you have some sort of water bottle so that you can go ahead and you can stay hydrated. You can drink your intra-workout, you can drink your pre-workout, you can just drink water throughout your workout, whatever it may be. Having some sort of water bottle is always going to be necessary. It's always going to be mandatory. Whether you just want to have a normal 600 milliliter shaker like this, whether you want to have one of those big 2-liter bottles, whether you want to have a 1-liter bottle, whatever it may be, definitely another necessity for your gym bag is going to be some sort of water bottle, shaker bottle, whatever it may be. Okay, now we are going to start moving into some of the things that might not necessarily be mandatory for everybody, but in certain applications definitely can be useful. So first thing we have here is going to be some knee sleeves. I definitely think that knee sleeves are a good investment. If you are doing some very heavy leg training, I think that they are very good for providing a little bit of extra support around the knee, and they're very good for providing a lot of extra warmth around the joint as well, which is something that's very important. If we can create more heat around the joint, we can create more blood flow to the joint, therefore lessening our chance of injury. Now, lots of people will go ahead and throw on knee sleeves because they think that it's going to help them to be able to squat more, and while it might add a little bit of weight to your squats, the main reason that I go ahead and wear knee sleeves is for what I just mentioned. I want to go ahead and I want to create some support and stability in the joint. I want to go ahead and create some blood flow to the joint so that I'm not worried about tendonitis or injuring my knees or anything like this. So I definitely think if you are squatting heavy on the regular, if you are doing heavy leg press on the regular, that investing in a pair of knee sleeves is going to be beneficial, because you got to think about compounding that over years and years of lifting and years of bodybuilding. It's going to start to take a toll on your joints. So going ahead and taking care of your joints early is something that I was always very adamant about. I've been using knee sleeves now for probably like 5 years, and I think that it's something that has definitely helped me to save my knees. So yeah, I definitely think that knee sleeves are a good investment, especially if you are doing heavy leg training quite often. I think that it is something that can go ahead and really benefit that joint. Next thing here is going to be lifting straps. I think lifting straps are definitely very underrated. These are really great when it comes to pull exercise, obviously, when it comes to back exercises, because I think that in reality, when we are focused on training our back, we are focused on training our back. We are not focused on training our forearms. Most people make the argument of, why would you use lifting straps? Why wouldn't you just go ahead and train your forearms? Well, in reality, if you are training for bodybuilding purposes, if you are trying to build muscle, we are not thinking about building up our forearms. We are thinking about training our back. If you are doing a deadlift, if you are doing a pull down, if you are doing a row, whatever it may be, we don't want that limiting factor to be our grip. If you are deadlifting 400 400 pounds, what is going to give out first, your hamstrings and your back, or your grip? Most likely it is going to be your grip. So if we can eliminate that factor by utilizing lifting straps, then I definitely think that it is worth it. These are a very, very cheap investment. They're like $15, $20. You can go ahead and just get some ones. These are from Gym Reapers. That's where a lot of my lifting gear is from, as you guys will see. But these are from Gym Reapers, so really great lifting straps to go ahead and help you to be able to do those pulling movements. A lot of times as well, people will notice that their biceps really get engaged when doing a lot of pulling movements, whether it's a pull down or a row or whatever it may be. This is going to allow you to take that out of it, because you're not going to be focused on gripping something as hard and getting your biceps engaged. You're just going to be focused on pulling and doing whatever the movement may be for your back. So definitely don't let your forearms be the limiting factor. Utilize some grips. In that same breath, there are different types of grips as well. So those ones were your standard lifting straps. These ones are kind of Versa style grips. So these are from Gym Reapers as well. But as you can see, it has this kind of rubberized pad here. And what's nice about these is that you go ahead and you put these on, and it's a little bit quicker. With those standard lifting straps, you kind of have to wrap it around the bar a couple of times. This one's nice and easy because you can either just go ahead and wrap over the bar, or you can wrap it under once and go ahead and just get a nice quick grip. So if you don't want to be messing around with lifting straps and twisting those around the bars and the machines the whole time, these are definitely a good option as well. Some Versa style grips like these ones from Gym Reapers. Next thing that I have here is going to be some wrist straps. Now wrist straps I think are very good for, again, providing that additional little support at your wrist. Some people find that they have very fragile wrists, myself included. I'm a delicate little flower. I have very fragile wrists just due to playing football a lot and sports growing up. I have very fragile wrists. If I am not careful, I will sprain them very easily, which is very annoying. But I do find that wrist straps allow me to go ahead and do my heavy pressing movements without the fear of re-injuring that or spraining my wrist, whatever it may be. So if you're doing, heavy incline dumbbell presses, if you're doing heavy machine presses, whatever it may be, just having a wrist wrap to go ahead and provide a little bit of additional support at that wrist joint is something that can be very beneficial. If you find that you have a little bit of wrist pain when you are doing pressing movement, then just utilizing something such as a wrist wrap is going to be a very easy way to go ahead and help with that and just provide that little bit of extra support. And I think something that is important to note with any of this lifting gear is that you don't want to go ahead and utilize it too much to the point where you are then relying on it. Because if we were to use our wrist wraps on every single movement, I see people wear them for like bicep curls and tricep press downs and everything like that, you are going to start to weaken that joint. That's the biggest thing, is that if you were always wearing this, if you were always wearing the support, same thing with your knee sleeves, if you're always wearing your knee sleeves for every leg exercise that you are doing, then it is going to start to create some weaknesses in that actual joint itself. You want to make sure that you are still challenging that joint a little bit, but for your top sets, for your heavy sets, I definitely think it's beneficial to go ahead and utilize them. Speaking of heavy pressing movements, the next thing I have here is going to be some elbow sleeves. So this is just a very similar principle to the knee sleeves, is that this is just going to allow us to create a little bit more stability, a little bit more support around the elbow joint. It is also going to allow us to drive a little bit more heat to that area, driving a little bit more blood to that area, helping us to lessen the chance of injury. So I really like elbow sleeves. It's something that I've been using for the last several years now. If you do find, again, that you have a little bit of elbow pain when doing pressing movements, then definitely go ahead and try out elbow sleeves. It'll help to keep that joint warm. It'll help to keep a little bit of compression in that joint and a little bit of support in that joint as well. But I definitely do like elbow sleeves to just provide that little bit of extra support during those heavy pressing movements. The next thing that I have here is going to be wrist cuffs. I definitely think that wrist cuffs are something that have become a lot more popular now in the fitness industry. I think a lot more people are finding that they have a lot of benefits, and some people still aren't utilizing them. So I think that wrist cuffs are a really great thing to go ahead and add into your training. I will use them mainly for things such as like lateral raises, where you go ahead and you can just put that cuff around the wrist. And the benefit with this is it is going to take your entire bicep out of it. It's going to take your forearm out of it, because you're not actually gripping something when you're doing that lateral raise. You are just cuffed at that joint there, and you can focus on just driving all of the tension through that side delt. So I will go ahead and utilize these a lot of times for lateral raise movements. These are just some wrist cuffs that I went ahead and picked up quite a few years back at Sport Check, because what I like about these is, as you can see, they're a lot thinner than your standard cuff that you are going to see at your gym. A lot of times the cuffs that are at the gym are going to be those big, thick, wide ones that are meant for ankle cuffs. These are really good. They are still technically ankle cuffs, but they are nice and thin, so they do work really good Next thing I have here is going to be a resistance band. Obviously, you don't necessarily need to carry your own resistance bands. A lot of gyms are going to have resistance bands there that you can just go ahead and use, and that is what I will do. I just have this one that I carry with me, but I utilize some of the other bands at the gym when I want different thicknesses or different widths or anything like that. But I definitely think that resistance bands are beneficial for the main reason that I like going ahead and using them to manipulate the resistance profile of an exercise. If you guys have seen on my page before, you've probably seen in some of my videos that I do go ahead and I will sometimes reverse band exercises. Like on a Smith machine, for example, if I'm doing an incline chest press, I will go ahead and reverse band it so that it changes the resistance profile of the Smith machine. If we think about a Smith machine, it is going to weigh the same at the top as it does at the bottom. This is a way to go ahead and manipulate that resistance profile, so as you are coming down into that stretch, you can take the load off a little bit and you can really challenge that shorten range. Bands definitely are beneficial in the fact that you can go ahead and manipulate the resistance profile of exercises with them. Again, is it something that is mandatory? No, you can definitely just go ahead and utilize a Smith machine like it's normally meant to be utilized. And the final thing that I will have in my gym bag is going to be a lifting belt. I definitely think that a lifting belt is important, but I definitely don't utilize it as much as I used to. Like I said, we want to make sure that we aren't relying too much on our lifting gear, that we start to notice some areas become weaker. I used to wear a lifting belt for like shoulder presses. I used to wear a lifting belt for like, chest presses. I would wear it for absolutely everything. And all I realized is that it just made my lower back absolute glass. My lower back was weak as shit, so that when I would do things, I would end up injuring myself. So now I pretty much only wear my lifting belt exclusively for hack squats as well as deadlifts. Those are pretty much the only two exercises that I utilize my belt for, but I do think in those certain situations that it is going to be very beneficial, because basically what this is going to allow us to do is when we put the lifting belt on, this is going to allow us to create more intra-abdominal pressure. When you think about it, when you are doing an exercise, you should be bracing your core anyways. You should be keeping your core nice and tight. You should be bracing your core when you are performing an exercise to keep your spine in a safe position. This is a way of taking that to the next level, because what we can do is we can actually kind of push out and brace against this belt, and we have something harder to go ahead and brace against when we are doing that exercise, so it's going to keep our spine in a nice safe position. But I definitely think that it's important to go ahead and learn how to brace without a belt, so that you don't go ahead and injure yourself on exercises. Like again, I see so many people wearing these way too often. Like they're doing bicep curls and they're wearing their belt. They're doing tricep press downs and they're wearing their belt. You don't need to be wearing a belt on arm day. Just go ahead and utilize it when it is necessary for those big, heavy compound movements. So I definitely think that having a belt is beneficial. Just make sure that you are not relying on it too much and making your lower back glass like mine was, to the point that you get injured. But otherwise, I do think having a good belt is something that's beneficial. This is a lever belt here, so as you can see, it's nice and simple. You can just go ahead and loosen it. You don't actually have to take it off between every set. So this is just one that I have got from Anaka. I've had this one for like 5-6 years. It has lasted the test of time, and it's something that, it's a really good, solid, quality belt. So if you guys want, definitely go ahead and check them out. But same thing as well, like some of the other brands you guys have seen, Gym Reaper has some good belts as well, so you can definitely go ahead and kind of check out some of their stuff as well if you are looking for a belt. So as you guys can see, I do carry quite a bit of different things in my gym bag. Like I said, some of them are definitely going to be more necessary than others, like a water bottle, headphones, good shoes. Those things are all going to be very important. And some of the things definitely are going to be optional, depending on where you are at in your fitness and bodybuilding journey, depending on, kind of what you feel is necessary in order for you to continue progressing within your journey. I just think that some of these things can have application and some of these things can be useful. So if you do want to go ahead and try them out in your own journey, then definitely go ahead and do that. If you want to try pressing with elbow sleeves and you're like, oh, this feels really good, then go for it. If you want to try squatting with knee sleeves and it feels good, then go for it. But don't think that any of these things are absolutely mandatory. I definitely think that they can be beneficial to go ahead and, prevent joint pain or anything like that. But don't think that you have to have any of these things in order to be a good bodybuilder. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. As I said, if you guys would like to check out any of these things that I talked about in the video for yourself, the links will all be in the description below. If you guys have any questions about any of the accessories or anything that I talked about in the video, definitely go ahead and drop those in the comments below as well, and I would love to answer any questions that you guys may have. But if you guys did enjoy the video, if you did get value from the video, definitely be sure to drop a like on it. I would greatly appreciate it. As well, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new around here so that you don't miss out on any future content. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Here comes the long road.